All right, so for today, we were working on um, Unit 1, Module 1, Session 1. We practiced multiplication facts. So that's something that if you're at home right now doing with, a parent maybe practicing some of your flashcards. I will also show you a template that you can do, maybe and print it off at home too, to do. And then we're going to review some multiplication strategies and review prime and composite numbers. And there is a game we played, which I'll show you what it is. And then if you want to play it, there is a link to play it at home. Maybe you could play it with your parents. This was the first one that we did. And what you did is you took two dice and put it together and added it up. If you got a 1 and a 2, you had a 3. And then you put it in the center. So we would have put it right in the center here. And then you just did 3 times 6 is 18, and you keep going around the circle. We did this in class yesterday, too, so this is something you're familiar with. These are just different numbers you could work with. And remember, we tried to use the simpler ones first, and then maybe try to add two together to try to figure out one. So if you know your fives, 3 times 5 is 15, and 3 times 2 is 6. Hey, and you didn't know your sevens, you could add these two together to get your 7. Just a simple review. We did this in class for about 5 minutes. Or if you can't do this at home, then maybe you could definitely do flashcards. We did go over working with the partial products. This is a little pre-teaching. It will not be on the test. But if we did 32 times 4, that's like saying 32 rows of 4. 32 rows of 4. And we could divide this into parts like we've been working on, and we can make them simpler. Take that 32 and break it into 30 rows of 4 and 2 rows of 4. Okay, now a trick to that we talked about yesterday was that heart method. The same thing as a partial product, it's exactly the same thing. But what you do, and I'm just going to move this over a little bit, is you break apart the 32 just like you did here into 30 and 2. Okay, and then it's 2 rows of 4, which is 2 times 4, which is 2 times 4, which is 8, just like here. And then we got 30 rows of 4. 30 rows of 4, which is right here. Now, if you didn't know your zero facts, a way to do that is divided by 10. You just take that 0 off, and think of it as a 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And you multiply it back by 10 and put the 0 there to get your answer. This is something we will work on later on more, so if this is still a little unclear to you, we definitely will work on it again. Now over here, since you divided it up into parts, then you have to put it back into it. So you take this one, put it underneath here, and the 2 times 4 underneath it, and then put it back, add it together to get 128. And we called this the heart method last year because it kind of looks like a heart when you connect it all up like this. It's really called the partial products. Partial means divided into parts that you can do easier, solving something that you don't know with something you do know. And then the products is multiplication. So we know how to do this with simpler arrays, but it can be for really any array. Just a little pre-teaching we worked on there. Reviewing prime numbers, we worked on prime numbers that only have 2 factors, one in itself. So if I had 3 is a prime number, because if I did the rainbow factors, 1, 3. There is no 2. So this 3 only has 2 factors, 1 and itself. Numbers 0 and 1 are special numbers. They're neither prime nor composite. Now, composite numbers have more than 2 factors. So if I looked at 4 and I did my rainbow factors for that one, I would do 1, 4. It's even, so I know 2 times 2. And we only count that 2 once, so this one would have 1, 2, and 4. So again, composite numbers have more than 2 factors, and they have to be whole numbers, both of these. So what we did too is, let's say we thought about 2 prime numbers, and then showed me the rainbow factors. Remember that prime numbers have only 2 factors, one in itself. And again, you might want to try this and pause it, and then I'll go over a couple of them. All right, welcome back. And again, an example might be 7. So remember, you'd have 1, 7. 2 doesn't work because it's an odd number. 3 doesn't work. 4, nope. So this is the only 2. So 7 only has 1 and itself. 1 and itself. Hopefully yours is a prime number too, and you did that. Remember, prime numbers, 2 factors only, and they're whole numbers, and that has 1 in itself. And we did 2, or 1 composite number. Composite numbers have more than that. So again, you might want to do 8. So you'd have 1 times 8. Well, it's an even number, so we know that 2 works. 2, 4. 3, nope, because 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 3 is 6. 4, already got it. So 8 has 1, 2, 4, and 8 as its factors. So it is composite because composite numbers have more than 2 factors. This one has 4, so it definitely is a composite number. I'm going to pause right there and see if you can write one down too. All right, so hopefully you had more than 1 factor on yours. All right, so this is the game we played, and it's called 1E products of 4. You're going to try getting 4 in a row, 4 horizontal, or 4 vertical, or on any kind of diagonal. The rule of this game is players decide who's going to be X and who's going to be O. Okay, and these are going to be factors that you multiply together on the side here to get a product over here. Now, player 1 takes their marker chip here and moves it to any of these ones. So let's say I moved it to 5. Player 2 then takes one and moves it to another one. You could go right on top of the side by side if you want to. And let's just do 7. Now, since I'm player 2 and I'm the O, I will go first because I was player 1 put this one down, player 2 put this one down, player 1 is the X and O, and so I'm the O, and so what I need to do is find the product. 5 times 7 is 35. So then I will take the green, some green here, and I will find the 35 and put an O on it. Okay, now player 1 gets to go. Now they get to move any of these, or either one of these to a different location to try to get position on the board. If he wants to block, he would go right around the O, and or maybe he would want to try going somewhere else. So let's move it to the ones position. So you can only move one. He could have moved this one, or he could have moved this one. Okay, so I'm going to move this one up here. And oh, and down below you write player one would have wrote the 5 times 7 here. All right, so we got the blue for next one. Blue did 1 times 7, which is 7, and they put an X here. Now, again, green gets to go. So the green person gets to move one of the chips again, either one. Now they're going to be looking to try keeping it around here. I'm going to go and move this blue one onto 7, because that's 7 times 7 is 49. So then I get my green pen out, and I write 7 times 7, and then I circle an O on the 49. Again, you go back, blue will go back, and then move one of them. So maybe they want to move, let's see, what would be a good one for 7? Maybe it's 7 times. Maybe they move the green one here. 7 times 4 is 28. So again, the blue is going to write 7 times 4 here, and then they get here. This keeps going back and forth until somebody gets 4 in a row. Once you get the 4 in a row, you win. Okay. Now here is our game board we did. In there, there's a link to go to this. This is the online version. Here is the rules again. You click over here. Here's the one we played on. Now at home, you can definitely do this too. You could just decide who's going to be blue and red. You know, blue person takes, a red person puts one on, blue person. And again, you can do the pens here. You can also, what some of the kids did to start off with, they would say, okay, 3 times 5, get the pen out. And that the player 2 is 3 times 5, right? And then they found it is 15, and it was the second person, the blue. You can, oh, I was supposed to change that to blue over here. 3 times 5 is, pretend that's blue. And then they were the O's and 15. You can also, instead of doing that, if you wanted to, you could just drag the blue one over here. Now remember, then the next, and player 1 goes. He can change this one or this one and try to either block or create something new where he wants to start. All right, that's the bell. I'm going to have to get going, but this link is something you can play with a parent. Again, there's a third board here if you want to play another game with some. This is a little harder just because it's shorter, actually, but it's easier to block. Rules are here, parents, if you want to reread it. And this is all in your Schoology, all in the Schoology. Thanks.